So here we have this young lefty just watching it fast motion a couple times here. What I'm seeing right now looks like I would say an arm issue, kind of a late arm. In other words, looks like the throwing arm is getting away or to the first base side of away from the body, which is going to lead us to some control issues. Yeah, we see the head flying to the third base side, the arm kind of going away from the body, release point's kind of way back here behind us. So without knowing the results, I'm going to take a guess that this kid has some control issues. I would tend to guess that he leaves the ball up and into lefties, spikes it down and away from lefties, probably struggles with a curveball, either hanging it or spiking it again. But it really all starts, if we're talking about an arm action issue, that's at the top of the body. Let's go back and look at the lower half to see if we can't figure out what might be causing that. And sure enough, we see, pretty good leg kick, pretty good balance, pretty good posture all the way down to here. We're leading with the sole of the foot. Once he gets to this point, we see the front hip really taking over and kind of pulling everything open. Rather than this being a continual movement with the back hip and the back hip driving us open, we see the front hip taking over, dominating the hip rotation, which is drastically slowing the speed at which the hips can rotate. So we see this long, slow opening of the hips, which is an inefficient way to transfer the body weight forward. So when we do get to landing, we're seeing the upper body have to compensate and take over. And we see this, obviously we see the head starting to really fly out. And it starts right there as the front hip dominates in that move. We see the back hip collapse. So as we see front hip swing or start to pull us open, we're going to see, if we look at the right hand circle, we see the back side just kind of collapsing down. So at that point, in this kinetic chain of movements, the upper body is going to have to take over and compensate in some manner. And what you're going to see is you're going to see the head have to get out of the way because of a lack of proper weight shift coming through. The telltale sign with this we get to as the hips try to rotate and deliver the arm. We can see weight shift is not complete. You're going to see as he goes into trunk rotation, everything continue to kind of drift forward. He's not able to stop over a completely stabilized front side. And that all has to do with an inefficient weight shift. The inefficient weight shift starts with the front hip swinging, backside collapsing rather than continuing to transfer the weight and then go into hip rotation around that strong front side. So with this kid, we're going to see in the next video, we'll do a little work with the core velocity belt on getting the feel of transferring the center of the body with the back hip being dominant as opposed to the front hip. And let's see what differences, if any, we can see in results based on focusing on the back hip as opposed to front hip dominance and hip rotation.